Welcome to the Homeschool Paradigm Podcast. This is Rachel, and today there are three of us. My mom is here, Angela, and my sister, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi.
Today we were looking at a comment that we saw recently from a dad who was asking about what to do when his kids are fighting back about doing schoolwork. And something that he mentioned at the end of the post was kind of that they had gotten to a point that they were just wondering, like, oh, do we need to double down on disciplining and consequences and all of that? So that's
Yeah.
basically what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. I got the feeling he didn't want to as much as his wife wanted to. I think it's harder on her, and she wanted to take away some pretty important privileges or whatever. I think that punishing a kid for having trouble is not too effective. I mean, I personally believe that most of the time your kids are not trying to get on your nerves and not wanting to fight with you, but that there's like something going on, right? So I think before I just punish or discipline or give consequences or however you want to say it, I would talk to them and try to find out what's wrong. You guys gave me some trouble here and there. I know I didn't punish you for having trouble. I know with Rachel, I started working with her,
Yeah, I don't
with
remember
you.
before that point. I felt like mostly you just fought too.
Well, I mean, I struggled a lot. Yeah. I think I was trying to convince you a lot, but then
Mm-hmm.
once I decided to work alongside you instead of trying to teach you, that's when it all changed. But I don't
Yeah.
think punishing you would have helped. I don't remember I mean, I remember like one time, I don't know what you were doing, but you were quite a bit older than when we started working together. I'm not sure what you
Mm-hmm.
were fighting me on or whatever, but I took away a really big privilege, I remember. Although
I
looking
don't
back, I
remember
don't know
this.
that you necessarily
What privilege.
cared about it. A camp thing, one of those summer camp things.
Oh,
But you probably
Oh,
didn't
I
necessarily
vaguely remember.
want to
I
even
thought I
go.
ended up going.
No, I mean, you've been to them, but I think one year I did not let you go, and I don't know that it
Oh,
upset you
I
that
chose not to
much.
go to those half the time anyway.
I was gonna say it probably didn't
So I was
upset you
like,
that much.
well, that's
I
nice.
Camping kind of
guess.
stinks. So yeah, I don't know.
I think the one time I remember getting like, I don't know, maybe punished for doing something like bratty during school or having a hard time at the same time, I felt like just more alone and more bratty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted to be more of a brat and I felt lonely.
yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
know it's hard for
Because I
parents
was like, she
sometimes.
doesn't understand
Yeah,
that I don't understand.
yeah. I think it's hard sometimes for parents not to feel like, I mean, on occasion, I might have felt like they're going to get away with this. This is going to teach them to get away with whatever. But I guess now that you're all adults looking back, I don't feel like that's actually what's happening when I didn't punish you, but looked for what was
Yeah.
wrong and tried to solve the problem instead. I
Hmm.
think it probably taught you problem solving.
I think on occasion we would have a really hard time with something. Like when I would have a really hard time and I would like break down about something, I remember you would just like stop
Hmm.
doing that thing.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then sometimes when I wasn't like upset, we weren't like upset with each other anymore, then you would just do it with me in the evening. I think I remember doing like
Oh
taking a
yeah.
complete break or not doing it even for a couple days and then like coming back to it
Hmm.
when you had like after I felt like you had recognized that I was having a hard time with it.
Right.
Yeah, I do
And I
remember
felt
that.
like
It
I
seemed
could
like,
figure it out after.
Hmm. When you're
yeah,
not
like
in
you
the
were more
middle of
calm in the evening.
hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that's it too. Like honestly, if your kid is fighting with you or whatever, having a anxiety or a breakdown or afraid because they don't understand it and they're afraid to tell you they don't understand it. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that kids are having a hard time. Their brains are all locked into that. Honestly, to continue with whatever it is you're trying to get them to learn or do at that moment is not productive anyway.
Hmm.
So you're going to
Yeah.
force that. You're going to make them feel more stressed and less able to listen to you. And they're going to be like, well, she just doesn't care, doesn't listen to me anyway. Like you're going to kind of, I don't want to be like hurt the relationship, but I mean, it doesn't help, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I
So,
feel like for homeschoolers, I feel like sometimes it's a pitfall type of thing. I don't know if that's the right wording, but you're disciplining someone, your child, when like in public or if you were in a workplace teaching or training someone who was under you wouldn't have them struggling with something. Or even if they got upset, you wouldn't then try to do something to make them feel worse. Like a punishment is usually something to make you feel bad, to make you miserable, to make you feel worse. So to me, it's just
so
kind
that
of
you will avoid the bad
counterintuitive.
behavior. Yeah.
Right. It's counterintuitive because if I'm in a workplace and I'm training someone and they get really frustrated or really upset, I use a lot of other techniques that have nothing to do with punishing them and trying to make them
Yeah.
feel worse. I have never made someone under me try to feel worse in order to make them
Like shaming them
perform or
or,
learn better.
That's
right.
kind of a good comparison. Like, what kind of techniques do you use in those situations?
That's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So in those situations, like you said, like pausing or coming back to the problem when they're more open to it, or sometimes if you have to get it right, done right then, making them recognize and talking to them like you're the partner in it, like mom, you were saying.
You're
So
going to do it
honestly,
together
like,
if it has to be done right
yeah,
then.
and
Hmm.
instead of parents necessarily always thinking of it like, oh, they're misbehaving, and I'll make them feel bad for
Hmm.
not learning well. So I think like what you were saying, just
I
doing
love
it with
that.
them.
I love that way of explaining it. I hadn't
Maybe
even
not
thought
thinking
of
about
it.
it so much as like a parent-child relationship in that
Yeah.
moment.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, if I was a teacher and the kid was struggling with me or whatever, I wouldn't be
Mhm.
like, you don't get to go to camp this summer. I mean,
Right.
what does that have to do with anything?
I think there's also a side where it's like there are obviously like natural consequences to things too. Like whenever
Mhm.
it's not that they should never feel bad or something, but it's like
Right.
Right.
And you
um
need to give consequences, of course, that
right.
aren't always natural. Yeah.
But I think I was just thinking about how like there are natural consequences too. Like when we would pause, I would just, have to learn it later or something.
Right. Yeah. You're
Right.
not getting out of it.
It's not like it felt great. We're not trying to
Yeah.
make our kids miserable, but also it's kind of miserable enough to not feel like you can understand something
It
and then
is.
obviously going back to it is like a very natural like consequence. Like obviously they don't get to just not never do it.
So that's
Exactly.
more
It's
of
not like
a
they're
one that would make sense.
getting away with it. Like that thing about some parents don't want to feel like their kids are getting away with it. Because they're
Yeah.
not. They're going to have to
Yeah.
do it.
Or if
Yeah.
they don't learn it then they're gonna have to learn it later, which is gonna be weird.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's not worse,
Yeah.
but they are going to have
Sometimes it can be, yeah.
it's not just going to be left undone.
Definitely remembering that they're a person you decided to train or to teach all these
Hmm.
things to.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do, like mom was saying, is that she would want to like actually try and figure out what's going on when your child is struggling with something in school. You would sit down and talk to them, maybe
Mhm.
talk to them in the moment or maybe later if they're really upset to actually figure out how they're feeling about what's going on.
Hmm.
And then, like Rachel was saying, thinking about it more of like a partnership, like if she was talking to like a coworker or maybe even like somebody she was over, she would help them
Yeah.
feel like a person first. She wouldn't treat them like a
Yeah.
child.
Right.
If they were having a hard time with something. And then, like I said, there are always natural consequences to things anyway. If you don't learn something now, you're probably going to learn it later. And it's just good to recognize that and be open to other options besides just struggling in the fact that you're just thinking about that your kid is giving
Yeah.
you a hard time.
Like your kid is
And
good.
there are other things that might be going on.
Your kids want
Yeah.
to please you. Honestly, most of the time they want to please you. And if you really have a kid that wants to get on your nerves, you need to work on that. You need to work
That's
on that
another
relation.
problem
I'm
besides the
sorry.
school.
You just need to work on that relationship.
That's an outside of school.
Yeah, you'd have that problem whether you homeschool or public school, and
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
separate
it happens.
issue.
But so if you try these things, you should come back and comment or let us know how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
See if some of those arguments turn out a little better. Maybe don't happen, hopefully.
Maybe don't happen as much, but it's hard to, so like in the, let's just a little brief in the moment during a struggle or an argument. It's good to just take a breath, not fight back, and just tell your kid, okay, we just need to calm down. We're going to take a break from this. We'll just talk about it later. Do something else, like do something together, go for
Mhm.
a walk or something where it kind of works out the emotions. And
Yeah.
then if you talk about it right after that, fine. Or if it's later that day or the next day, do something else right then, whatever you feel like your relationship can handle.
Yeah, that's good.
So good. And thanks for
Thanks.
listening.